Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. You guys know the deal around here. We love transfer portal season. We love tracking down the rumors, getting on social media, trying to get the inside scoop. Who's in, who's out, what does Tennessee's roster look like in 2024? And when you talk about the transfer portal, I think that is a big part of how Josh Heupel has been able to kind of rebuild this team. We were talking 6 years. A 6-year rebuild when you looked at the mass exodus of players. But Josh Heupel was able to go get guys like Hendon Hooker. He was able to go get guys to fill spots across this football team the last few seasons, even this year. I mean, you look at this roster for 2024, Holden Stace adding the number one tight end in the transfer portal when really the only kid you had on campus was Ethan Davis. That's huge for rebuilding and getting ready for next season. Jacoby Thomas, position of need. Jermod McCoy, position of need. Adding Chris Brazel, the outside threat, 6'5", big-time target. Josh Heupel, Tennessee's been able to take advantage of the transfer portal, but I see the opposite side of that. I see a lot of you guys out there, you say the portal, you say that NIL is going to be the death of college football. You don't like it. It's not the game we grew up on. It's not the game that we fell in love with. And I think there are some pros and cons to both sides of this thing. The portal, for me, I think if you utilize it the right way, you look at a guy like Harrison Bailey, right? He knew he wasn't going to get playing time at Tennessee. I don't have a problem with the kid transferring out for an opportunity to go compete. I think they do need some rules and regulations in place. And what are they going to do? They're going to make it worse. We're going to take a look at how coming up in just a second. But as always, do me a favor and smash that thumbs up just below the video. It is quick, it is free, it's easy. It helps the channel. I would greatly appreciate it. Also, if you're new to the Talkin VAWLS Network, welcome. We're not experts here. We're not insiders. We're not media. We don't talk at you. We talk with you. This channel is for the fans, by the fans. If you like the content, make sure you subscribe. Click that bell for notifications. You're not going to miss out when we go live or when we drop a video. Going to have a lot of content coming your way, getting geared up for the bowl game right around the corner next Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern time. We'll be live with Bennett Warren, 4-star offensive tackle committed to Tennessee. Going to hang out with us, and then we're going to break down Tennessee versus Iowa as we near that bowl game. Let's jump into it. Let's talk about it. What is Boogie talking about? How is it going to get worse? How is this the death of college football? You can see this tweet. On3 has obtained a memo sent from the NCAA to schools on Thursday that states multi-time transfers who enter the portal this fall or winter will be eligible to play at a new school in 2024 without a waiver. So it is the Wild West. And I think as Tennessee fans, we kind of saw that take place when you saw Wesley Walker enter the portal yesterday, because he's a guy that, the way the portal works, if you're not familiar, you get free transfer. You get a one-time pass to transfer anywhere in the country. You don't have to sit out. No penalties, no regulations. One-time transfer. Now, where it gets complex, where it gets convoluted, some of you guys don't understand, you also get that opportunity as a graduate transfer. So if Wesley Walker had graduated, if he had earned his degree from Tennessee, he could transfer out, right? He's already used the one-time free transfer when he transferred into Tennessee from Georgia Tech back in 2021. But now he enters the portal yesterday, and everybody's scratching their head saying, what is going on? Well, that is because of this memo from the NCAA that is approving two-time transfers. So all the guys that transferred in, a guy like Dante Thornton can immediately turn around and transfer right back out. A guy like Gerald Mincy could do the same thing. They're not going to have to sit out a year. They're not going to have to pay any penalty. Now, one thing that's worth noting, if you go down here and look at some of the questions in this memo that was sent out, if you go down here towards the bottom, question number 3, talking about when does this take place, it's going to give this opportunity for the fall 2024 season. It says it is not certain at this time whether the preliminary injunction will remain in effect for the 2024-2025 season. However, as long as the undergraduate student athlete transfers to another Division I institute during the 2023-2024 academic year, the athlete will not be subject to the bylaw. Now, some of you may be saying, what in the world is going on? Why is the NCAA putting this out now, allowing a two-time transfer? Well, that goes back to this article right here from ESPN.com. Judge's ruling favors NCAA athletes seeking second transfer. And this is where you get into the complex subject, the complex topic of NIL on top of the transfer portal, right? Because now you're talking about college athletes. Now they're in a business. Now they're paid professional athletes. It is what it is. And I think that's where NIL, it was rolled out too fast. NIL, the transfer portal, they threw it all out there. There were no, legislation. There were no rules. There were no regulations. Complete Wild West when they rolled this out. To me, NIL is, all right, you create a Brew McCoy jersey. He can get paid for that. You create, action figures. You create video games. Being in the EA Sports video games, you can receive compensation for your name, image, and likeness, right? That's what NIL was supposed to be to me. And I'm thinking, well, that's what these kids deserve. You're using their name, their image, their likeness. They deserve to be compensated for that. But now it's not the case. You're talking about $8 million deals. And look, there are pros and cons. Why did we get Nico? Because we threw $8 million at him. That's how we got Nico Iamaleava to Tennessee. You got Biletnikoff Award winners entering the portal. Why? So they can see who's going to give them the biggest check. It is unrestricted free agency year in, year out. We see it across the board. Guys enter the portal, see who's going to give them the biggest offer, and that's where they ultimately end up. Look at it from a Tennessee standpoint. Tyler Barron, Tamarion McDonald. You don't think that's NIL? Now, I know it's a two-way street, right? Some guys are asked to leave. You can't say, well, Boogie, you can't keep these guys from making money. But then on the flip side, say, Warren Burrell, we're going to need you to check out. Jack Ludrell, we're going to need you to check out. We don't need you guys to be a part of this team. We need you to go ahead and move on. It's a cutthroat business. So is it fair for these guys to enter the portal and say, hey, give me as much money as possible? And that's where we're getting into this sticky situation. This article from ESPN says, Charleston, West Virginia, college athletes who were denied the chance to play immediately after transferring a second time can return to competition for now, after a federal judge issued a 14-day temporary restraining order Wednesday against the NCAA. It says U.S. District Judge John Preston Bailey in northern West Virginia issued the order against the NCAA from enforcing the transfer rule. A lawsuit filed by West Virginia and 6 other states alleged the rule's waiver process violated federal antitrust law. It goes on to say a hearing on the restraining order is scheduled for December the 27th. The NCAA did not immediately indicate whether it would appeal the ruling. Now you're seeing this memo roll out where they're saying, hey, we're going to go ahead and let you transfer twice. You're going to be eligible. There's going to be no penalty. It goes on to say the NCAA rule allows underclassmen to transfer once without having to sit out a year, but an additional transfer as an undergraduate generally requires the NCAA to grant a waiver. That's what the memo's about. That waiver no longer required. It says without it, the athlete would have to sit out for a year at the new school. It says last January, the NCAA implemented stricter guidelines for granting those waivers on a case-by-case basis. The states involved in seeking the restraining order were Colorado, Illinois, New York, North Carolina, Ohio, Tennessee, and West Virginia. And this is where you're getting into those sticky situations because you're talking about paid professional athletes. You're talking about guys that are making millions of dollars. So are you preventing them from their market value because you're not allowing them to enter the transfer portal more than once? You're saying you're stuck here. I think what ultimately this is going to lead to is you're going to have contracts. They're going to have contracts. You cannot have unrestricted free agency year in, year out. You're already seeing these college coaches every single year. They've got to recruit the players on their own team. Right now, they're having to recruit COVID seniors as well. We've seen that with Josh Heupel returning the entire offensive line. He's recruiting guys for an extra year of eligibility. He's recruiting guys to not enter the portal. He's recruiting guys in high school. He's recruiting guys that are already in the portal. He's recruiting guys at the JUCO level. It never stops. It never stops. And if you give these guys a second year, I just don't see how that's good for college sports. Is this the death of college football if this is the way they move into going forward? What do you guys think? I would love to see your opinions in the comments. I think you're going to be in agreement here that this is a bad move. This is a bad decision. Ultimately, I think this is going to lead to contracts. I also think what you're going to see in the future is some type of salary cap. Do the rich get richer? Do you just get to keep going out and spending all the money? We've seen Lane Kiffin rebuild that roster at Ole Miss. I think you got to have some type of, rules and regulations in place here to stop this. It's already, you rolled it out too fast, and now you've got all these problems, all these ridiculous, contract negotiations, bidding wars. Every time a kid commits elsewhere, it's, well, they dropped the bag. I don't think this is good for college football. I'd love to see what you guys think. Smash the thumbs up on the way out the door. Jump into the comment section. Let's talk about it. 2-time transfers for 2024. As always, make sure you guys do smash that thumbs up and go check out the merchandise. You can go to bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. That link is in the description below. Also, shout out to the members of the channel. You guys like the content around here, want to keep this thing moving forward, hit that join button down below for $1. Just $1 you are contributing. This is fan funded. We appreciate the support. If not, smash the thumbs up. That's free. Jump in the comment section. Let's talk about it because this is the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Go Big Orange.